Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, hi, my name is Miri and I give you guys an extra warm welcome. I would love it if you grabbed a snack, stayed for a while and click the subscribe button. I would love to have you. And if you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back. I appreciate you more than you know. So you can tell by the title of the video, my Wayne Goss order came in. I ordered it from Beautylish. It literally was dropped off at my door probably about 25 minutes ago. So I just went ahead and got everything I needed to get this video started. It is currently 1:34, so I want to get this on my face as soon as possible so I can do somewhat of a wear test so I can upload this video. If you want to see what I think about this new Wayne Goss foundation, and I did purchase the powder as well, then just go ahead and keep on watching. Alright guys, so this is the Luxury Cream Foundation. It does come in a little pot, and this is the outer packaging, which I do feel like he changed it up just a tiny bit from his normal packaging. I think all silver is what he has for like his palettes. Here is what the container looks like. It is frosted and it feels like it's plastic, and it has on there, and then it has Wayne Goss at the top. Of course, he had to do like the reflective. Here is what the foundation looks like. It's so pretty when it's like untouched. I purchased shade 7, and here it says it was made in the USA, which I actually really like. It has a 24-month shelf life. I purchased it through Beautylish, which I think is the only retailer he sells his products at. If I'm wrong, let me know down below. It retails for $38, and you do get 1 fluid ounce, which is the standard for foundations, and I feel like $38 is a good price for a fluid ounce. I want to say it's probably like right in between the middle between like high-end and drugstore brand. I also purchased the weightless powder, and in translucent, it is the only shade that he came out with. Oh yeah, there is 12 shades available in the Wayne Goss foundation. I'll go into detail here in a minute about why. Okay, so this retails for $28, the powder, and you get 0.25 grams. It also has a 12-month shelf life, and it was made in the USA. Here is what the outer packaging looks like. I feel like he kind of switched it up with this packaging. He did like the black for the unicorns, and then he did like the silver for the actual packaging, which I feel is what the unicorn was for like his palettes, which is nice. And it says here the weightless powder. It is also a frosted plastic bottle. It also says Wayne Goss here, and there it is. Translucent is the only shade, like I said. Okay, let's dig in. Before I apply the foundation on my face, let's just talk real quick about the 12 shade range that he provided us with. So this is a balm foundation, and it has about 30% pigment, which is pretty typical for like when you buy the palettes, you know, like the little cream palettes that you can get like at RCMA. I believe Bobbi Brown also has some for concealers or color correctors, and that's like a typical percentage of pigment that they offer, which means that you can build this up or you can also shear it out. Essentially, the shades can go a long way as far as shade ranges. For me personally, you guys already know how I feel, and I kind of don't accept that as an excuse. But Wayne Goss is, you know, he's an indie brand. He pretty much pays for everything himself. So he did say that he hopes to add more shades to the line, but for now, this is what he could do. 12 shades is better than some other balm foundations, like this Maybelline Age Perfect one right here. So he could do better, but he did what he could. So we are going to swatch this. Okay, it feels balmy for sure. So if you don't like balm foundations, you won't like this. Like I said, shade 7 is the shade I purchased, and it looks like it's going to be a good match. Okay, I did want to swatch this L'Oreal right next to it. This one, depending on where you purchase it, Walmart you can get it for like $12. On Amazon, for some reason my shade and one or two other shades were like $15, but this is what it looks like. And as you could tell, it's a tiny bit on like the orange side of things. I think there was only 6 or 8 shades available in this one, and all of the undertones were just not good. And there is that. So the texture definitely feels different. This one feels more creamy and more emollient than this one. This one definitely feels like it might be a little more water-based. Yeah, just from the feel of it. Okay, all right, now let's get into the application. All right, guys, again, I purchased the shade 7. That just felt like the most appropriate shade for me. I was debating between this one and shade 8 or shade 9, but I'm glad I went in with this one because it honestly looks like it's going to be a really good match. I do have here with me today a brush, a wet sponge, and I'm also going to be using my fingers. So let's start with this side. I think I'm going to actually apply it with my finger first. That's what it looks like once you... So I definitely feel like with Balm foundations, they look darker in the pen than they actually are. So I'm going to apply this here. Feels lightweight for sure. And like you can really see pigment when you rub your finger in there. Okay, so I'm going to use my brush. This is my absolute favorite foundation brush right now. I do have the jumbo one, but I prefer this one. I don't know why. This is her classic base from Sonia G. So I'm going to just buff this into my skin. And I am using natural lighting today. I mean, I have some lights on, but mostly natural lighting. And up here on my forehead, I'm actually going to use my fingers just so I could see how it feels. It feels like a dry face cream. Like one of those face creams that you put on and it almost turns to powder. Okay, here is what side by side looks like. I have the foundation on this side and no foundation on this side. So I feel like it looks like my skin, but just a little more refreshed, glowy, hydrated versus what my natural skin looks like with nothing on it. So let me go ahead and apply the other side with this sponge. This is just like a Wet n Wild sponge. I don't think I'm going to apply it with my fingers on the forehead, although if I'm being completely honest, I feel like with your fingers is probably the best application, because if you look up close with here and here, it looks like I just have nothing on my skin in the forehead. Like it looks like just my skin, which is nice. Okay, so let me go ahead and show you the clip of applying the other side, and I'll read off what the claims are for this foundation. Okay, the claims on the Beautylish website: discover your smoothest skin with Wayne Goss's first ever foundation, the Luxury Cream Foundation. This classic cream formula glides onto skin like silk, delivering buildable coverage with a satin finish that looks, feels, and wears just like real beautiful skin, no matter your age. Thanks to a high pigment load, a little goes a long way. Blend it out for sheer payoff or build it up for your ideal level of coverage. It is a full coverage, it has a satin finish, and it is a cream formula. Okay, and this is what both sides are looking like. And honestly, I cannot tell too much of a difference as far as application wise from the brush side and the sponge side. I can't tell the difference between this side of the forehead and here. For sure, I feel like the best method of application is your fingers, but I don't really like to use my fingers. All three ways look beautiful in my eyes. Okay, so let me go ahead and put on some concealer and then we will test out the powder. Okay, this is what we are looking like and I'm truly enjoying what I'm seeing. Now we're going to see how it does when you powder it. Me personally, if you have been here for a while, you already know that I have to powder no matter what. I cannot not powder. I did go in to the Dior Backstage concealer, which this is actually one that I don't really enjoy. I feel like it dries out my under eyes and it accentuates just texture that I don't feel I personally have. So yeah, this one is not a favorite, but it's what I'm putting in my weekly pick for that project I told you guys about. This is in shade 2N, and as of right now, actually both sides look the same. Okay, so this Wayne Goss, it's called the Weightless Powder, and I did look at his review. I watched the whole video and it's a very weightless powder. Now, he created this powder to be used like literally sparingly. Like, do you see? It literally disappears. So even though it's like a translucent powder, I'm sure if you are the deep complexion, you probably are worried, like, is this going to leave a white cast? And I would be too. But he did state in his video that this is meant to literally just grace the skin. So if you're one of those individuals who enjoys getting a tiny bit more coverage with your powder, I don't think this powder is going to be for you. It's meant to just lightly, like a soft veil of powder, just to set the base. But it does seem to disappear. Does it leave a sheen or anything? No, I don't feel like it does. Okay. Right now, my absolute favorite powder for my under eyes is this NARS. It is the Light Reflecting Setting Powder in Translucent. One of my subscribers, I don't remember who, if you guys are watching this, comment down below. You suggested this powder for me. I remember swatching it in stores, and because it does have a tiny bit of like just crystallized micro, like almost shimmer, what it looks like. I was like, no, I can't put that under my eyes, right? Well, it actually works so beautifully under my eyes and it literally disappears. That is how thin this consistency is. So when I saw Wayne Goss swatch this powder, it reminded me of this one and I got excited. So we shall see if it works similar or the same. So I think what I'm going to do is do the NARS on my under eyes for this side and the Wayne Goss on this side, just to see if they look similar. Okay, so we're going to start with the Wayne Goss side on this one, and I actually been using a puff. I do have a brush here. I'm not sure yet if I'm going to use it. For some reason, I don't know if it's my eyes, knowing that they're turning 35 in a little over a month. They started not working again with a brush. So now what I have to do is use a puff under my eyes. So I have a little bit here in my cap. And I'm going to, and I usually tap it. And then I go in and set my under eye. Okay. Oh, that's definitely blurring it. Okay, so this eye is set and this eye is not set. Okay, now for this eye, I think I'm gonna use the puff with, I'm just gonna switch it to the other side. With the NARS, and I usually rub it, tap it, Okay, so this is the NARS and this is the Wayne Goss. The only difference I could see is like that crystal, super tiny glimmer on this side. You probably can't even see it with the camera, but for me, with my eyes, I can see just the tiny bit of like sheen that you get from the NARS powder. But other than that, they look identical, which makes me happy because, like I said, this unexpectedly became my favorite under eye powder right now. Now we're going to set the rest of the face. All right, I have a fluffy powder brush here. It's one that I got a really long time ago. So I do have a tiny bit left over here. Oh, I forgot to tell you, it did have like the plastic covering and it has like that shifter. Okay, so like your standard packaging. It reminds me of like the Laura Mercier powder. So he did say this is meant to be used lightly, just like a veil on top of your foundation. So I am tapping it and I'm just, because I don't know if it is going to alter the color of my foundation. I usually use a different powder for my whole face, but we need to try this out. Literally using the smallest amount and tapping it. And I'll take a picture when everything is said and done to see if we see a white cast. Okay, and this is what the base is looking like, and I definitely feel like even though we're powdered, it still looks natural. I still have a healthy glow. I will say, and I noticed this before I started powdering, if you have dry patches on your skin, you will see the foundation kind of clinging onto those areas. My allergies were just out of control. I want to say it was 3 or 4 days ago, and it kind of turned into a slight cold, so like I was having issues with a runny nose. And so right here I have a little bit of dryness, and you can definitely see it looking up close. Just an FYI. I do have other Wayne Goss items here, and I'm just going to finish off the rest of my face. I will probably speed through this process, and yeah, okay. All right, guys, and here is the finished face. I did go in with every of the other Wayne Goss makeup that I own. The 2 eyeshadow palettes in Pearl and Tourmaline. I think Tourmaline is how you pronounce it. This is Pearl, and this one is Tourmaline. And I did go in to this shade and this shade for the inner corner to finish off the eye look. I think out of these 2 eyeshadow palettes, I do enjoy Pearl the most. Tourmaline just doesn't really, the color story doesn't attract me as much, at least not right now, but it does still have a special place in my heart. I bought this palette because Mel Thompson pretty much sold me on it when I saw her review, which was the very last video that she posted before we found out that she had passed away. For the bronzer and contour, I did go in. This is called the Radiant Boosting Face palette in the shade medium. It has a contour and a bronzer powder. The bronzer does have a tiny bit of sheen, which I absolutely love, and I feel like it looks absolutely beautiful. I did pick this up earlier in the week, and I remembered how much I love it. For the lips, I did go in to his lip liner in what is this, a nude medium or medium nude? It's the second medium shade. He came out with these lipsticks and this like 3 different nude lip liners, and I purchased the medium one, which is the middle one out of the three. And then I have these two lipsticks from him, Nutmeg and Cashew. I have Cashew on. I kind of just blended it out with the, it's like a peachy shade with the lip liner, and I feel that looks beautiful. I did go in to like a nude shade eyeliner. For the blush, I did not, I don't own a blush that's a Wayne Goss blush. Not sure why, I just don't. But I think that pretty much covers his stuff. Okay, so let's take a peek. All right, so I am loving the foundation. I did take a picture with flash. I'll go ahead and post it right here. And I do feel like my skin looks very natural. It looks like my skin, but better. So I think the powder is doing a good job. I don't see any flashback. I would be interested to see it in somebody with tan to deep complexion, see if the powder works for them. Just because I feel like if it does have a white cast, you would definitely see it in that complexion and not at mine. Really, I'm light to medium. In my tanner days, I am a true medium, so I don't feel like you can really see if I would get a white cast, but so far so good. All right guys, so I will see you at the end of the day, and we'll see how this foundation holds up. So far I'm really loving what I'm seeing, so I'm actually really excited. All right guys, it is the end of the day. It is 8:07 at night. So I have been wearing the foundation for approximately 6 hours. Now I wish I could have put this foundation on a tiny bit sooner and maybe done closer to an 8-hour wear test, but usually around the 5 or 6 hour mark, I can tell how my skin is going to do with the foundation. So let me bring this light down a tiny bit. And I do feel like my skin is looking pretty decent. The nose is looking a tiny bit shiny, which is usually the area where I have the most problems. Also my chin, but I feel like my chin is holding up better than the nose. But it still looks really good. 2 more hours, maybe 3. I feel like it would look pretty much close to what it's looking like right now. I did forget to mention earlier that I did go in, I know I showed you a clip, but just in case you're not familiar with the primers that I used the ColourPop No Filter for my Tzone, which is more of like a mattifying primer, and I have really been enjoying that. And I went in to the Smashbox mattifying primer for the rest of my face. Balm foundations to me, like even though I feel like stick foundations, cream foundations are a little bit more on the dry side. For my skin type and my Tzone, I feel like they pull out my oils a tiny bit sooner than like a normal foundation, like a liquid foundation. So that's why I went in with mattifying primers, and I'm pretty happy with that decision because it's actually looking beautiful right now. We are going to pick up the setting powder and just pretty much blot the skin, just so you could see. Okay, and I definitely feel like it looks like I freshly applied this foundation. So it does well with touching it up. All right guys, I usually have 2 more lights turned on, but I think I'm going to leave it like this. I'm kind of liking the romantic vibe that I'm getting from the lighting right now. Okay, so I definitely feel like Wayne Goss did a really good job with these products. Now, if you're curious about my skin type, age, all that good stuff, I always put the information down below in my description box when I do foundation reviews. So that information will be there for your reference. In case you're not familiar with Wayne Goss, he's been in the YouTube world for quite some time. He is a makeup artist, and most of the videos that he posts on his channel are educational makeup videos that I truly enjoy. I have definitely learned quite a bit from Wayne Goss. Yeah, check him out. I will have everything linked down below. I just feel like when it comes to these kinds of products, complexion products and all that good stuff, I definitely feel like Wayne Goss is somebody that knows what he's doing. And in my eyes, in my book, because of what I'm seeing with my eyes right now, I think he knocked it out of the park with these 2 products. I didn't purchase the puff just because I didn't think like I was actually going to use it. I am particular with my puffs. There's not too many that I enjoy. So I decided just not to purchase that and stick to the foundation and the powder. These complexion products from Wayne Goss, he did great. I am enjoying them and I cannot wait to keep using them because I feel like they might become some staple items in my makeup routine. Well, that is it. That concludes this review. I hope you enjoyed it. Sorry the wear test was only a 6-hour wear test, but I don't feel like I'm going to change my mind too much about it with adding 2 more hours to the wear test. I will definitely keep using these products and let you know if I keep loving them in a future video, because I do know that sometimes I love a product or I test out a product and first impressions are good, and then for whatever reason sometimes that opinion can change. So I will definitely keep using these products and in a future video let you know if I'm still loving them or not. All right guys, with that being said, I would love it if you gave this video a big thumbs up. I would greatly appreciate it, and you would definitely help me out in the algorithm of hopefully bringing some new and fresh eyes to my channel. And if you haven't done so already, I would love it if you joined my small YouTube family by clicking the subscribe button. I would love to have you. All right guys, I will see you on the next video. Bye.